It's surprising to find myself sharing my tale in this way. Yet here I stand at 47, navigating life as a divorced parent to a teenage son. I find myself caught in a cycle that seems unyielding, a routine that plays on repeat as we embark on this journey together. Remember to show your support by liking, sharing, and subscribing to our YouTube channel. I'd love to hear from you in the comments about where you're tuning in from. Each night, I embark on my journey through the quiet hours as a nurse, tending to those in need under the moon's watchful gaze. Every shift unfolds challenges that challenge my convictions and stretch the limits of my compassion. The long hours stretch endlessly. The fatigue wraps around me like a heavy cloak, and the emotional burden from work gradually pulls me deeper into its grasp. Beyond the hospital's walls, existence seems to be caught in an endless loop. Rise with the dawn, venture into the world, return as the sun sets, seek the embrace of slumber, and repeat the cycle anew. Yet, amidst all the chaos, I stumbled upon a glimmer that illuminated my path. Once upon a time, there was a game called bowling. It may seem straightforward, perhaps something that one might assume is favored by the elderly. But for me, it transformed into a means of finding my breath. Last year, I found myself stepping into the vibrant world of a local bowling league, drawn by the simple desire to fill my time with something enjoyable. To my astonishment, I found that I was more than just adequate at it. I truly excelled. I even qualified for a genuine tournament just a few hours away. For months, I had been honing my craft. For the first time, I sensed I was reclaiming a part of my life, reconnecting with the essence of who I was before the divorce, reigniting the passion that once burned brightly within me. Yet, amidst that thrill, there lingered the gentle reminder of my role as a mother. My teenage son had been expressing himself a bit more and sought my presence more than usual. In my mind, the echoes of that last moment lingered, a vivid reminder of what transpired when I stepped away from his side. Upon my return, I found that a friend of his had wreaked havoc in the garage, all in an attempt to amuse him. Once more, I found myself dreading the thought of reliving the experience. As the tournament approached, I found myself at a crossroads, striving to harmonize the pursuit of my aspirations with the unwavering support my son needed from me. Thus, I chose to take him along on my journey. We found ourselves at a hotel close to the tournament, where we spent the weekend immersed in the excitement of the event. The indoor pool was a cozy haven, a delightful surprise after all that had transpired. As dawn broke, I found myself stirring from slumber, the world outside still cloaked in the soft embrace of morning light. After a gentle stretch, I softly roused my son from his slumber. He lay cocooned in the blankets, reluctant to abandon the comforting embrace of the warm bed. I gently prodded him, a subtle reminder that breakfast awaited us downstairs. A serene pause before the whirlwind of our bustling day began anew. As he softly uttered a word about pancakes, a smile crept across my face that signified he was awake and in his element, brimming with enthusiasm. We made our way to the hotel dining area, where the familiar breakfast spread awaited us. Imagine pancakes, warm and dripping with syrup, accompanied by fresh eggs and fluffy omelets, with a side of crispy bacon to complete the feast. He piled his plate high with pancakes, a smile spreading across his face with each delightful bite, as if he was savoring a piece of happiness itself. On my journey, I found myself drawn to a delightful veggie omelette. We gathered in silence, savoring the tranquility that enveloped us. The dawn of a new day. Once we finished our meal, I inquired if there was anything he wished to do before I had to head out for bowling. His eyes sparkled with excitement as he shared tales of a nearby mall, where a fantastic game shop awaited his eager exploration. The anticipation of finally acquiring a game he had long sought filled him with joy. For a fleeting moment, we both experienced the exhilarating pause amidst the hustle of our daily lives. even when life seems to spin in endless loops. Mornings like this whisper of the beauty found in the smallest moments. In the midst of long, arduous nights at the hospital, fleeting escapes to the bowling alley, and serene breakfasts shared with my son, I find the strength to carry on. They remind me that even amidst the stormy seas, glimmers of joy and fragments of hope can still shine through, and the profound affection that fills my heart for my son. He inspires me to persevere each and every day. As I journey to the tournament that morning, each mile seemed to draw me closer to reclaiming the essence of who I once was, that was filled with vitality, aspirations, and determination, rather than merely obligations and fatigue. The tournament held a significance beyond mere victory. It served as a testament to resilience. It revealed that even when life inundates you with challenges, there are still moments to rise and embrace the feeling of being alive once more. Through the narrative of my journey, I aim to illustrate that even when existence seems trapped in an unending cycle, amidst toil and dedication, fragments of your essence can still be discovered in the most unexpected corners. Perhaps it unfolds in the gentle moments, like a game of bowling or a serene breakfast shared with your child. These moments weave together to craft the tapestry of our journey. They whisper to us that every dawn brings the promise of a new beginning. It was a day woven with twists and turns. I employed to imagine that I would keep my personal life shrouded in silence. Yet, here I stand, recounting the twists and turns that have crafted my very essence. Once upon a time, on a day not defined in the past, distinctively captured attention. It brimmed with unexpected twists that echoed the burdens I bear and the joy that propels me forward. As a mother, I have consistently sought to provide my son with every opportunity, even when it requires making sacrifices or extending my finances beyond my comfort zone. On that day, he gently introduced a thought that had been lingering in his mind for some time, a game that had danced in his dreams, waiting for the moment to become a reality. On that fateful afternoon, we set our sights on the bustling mall. It was brimming with a crowd and alive with sound, yet we had one aspiration at the forefront. Once upon a time, there was a company called GameStop. The instant we stepped inside, his eyes sparkled with excitement as he caught sight of a vintage, second-hand game. To my astonishment, the price was beyond what I had anticipated. The amount hovered around $60. It seemed excessive to invest that much in a pre-owned game. Yet, the expression on his face, radiating pure joy, rendered it utterly impossible to refuse. With a gentle exhale, I reached for my wallet and settled the payment for the game. The way his eyes sparkled with gratitude and excitement made every sacrifice feel meaningful. Following that, we meandered through the mall for a couple of hours. We wandered through the shops, observed the bustling crowd, and relished the simple joy of each other's company. Each chuckle and exchanged look rekindled memories of easier days, a time when the complexities of adolescence had yet to weave their intricate web. Those moments, just the two of us, were few and far between. A treasure to hold dear. It brought to mind a bond we once shared and rekindled that sense of intimacy within me. There was a moment when I feared we were drifting away. Yet that day sparked a glimmer of hope that perhaps we were still connected. On that fateful night, I found myself returning to the bowling alley. Following that cherished moment with my son, a sense of tranquility washed over me, preparing me for what lay ahead. In my mind, I envisioned giving it my all. Yet the twists of life often lead us down unexpected paths. Even with that sense of calm, the weight of stress and fatigue eventually caught up to me. Once I began my journey, I found myself in a promising second place, a beacon of hope. Yet, as the tale unfolded, I gradually descended through the ranks, ultimately concluding my quest in fifth place. It pierced like a sharp thorn. Disappointment began to weave its way into my heart. Yet, I whispered to myself, the shadows of loss are but fleeting moments in the grand tapestry of life. It was merely a challenging chapter in a tale that continues to unfold. In a twist of fate, one of my friends from the league, Lisa, emerged victorious in the tournament. Joy filled my heart for her. Lisa had toiled with great dedication, and witnessing her carry home that trophy filled us all with joy and a reason to rejoice. Once the award had been bestowed, a band of us chose to venture out and savor the occasion. It was difficult to refuse, particularly because the location they chose was just across the street from our hotel. We convened at a quaint bar, enveloped in a warm and inviting atmosphere. Joy echoed through the space as we exchanged tales, lifted our glasses, and let our worries fade away. On that particular night, I decided to indulge a bit more than usual with the drink in hand. Feeling a little relaxed, I enjoyed more than one glass of wine. I surrendered to the joy of the evening and allowed myself to revel in it. When I finally returned to the hotel, the clock was nearing 1 in the morning. My son had already drifted into slumber, the gentle glow of the TV casting a warm light in the room. Upon his serene visage, I gently shut his door, a wave of love and tranquility washing over me. As I transformed into my cozy pajamas, I nestled into the welcoming embrace of my bed. As I flicked on the television, I sought refuge in a film. Yet, slumber eluded me, dancing just out of reach. My thoughts wandered through the hours. Once upon a time, there was a journey to the mall, where a gain was acquired. The tale unfolded with the exhilarating highs and crushing lows of the tournament, all punctuated by the joyous laughter shared at the bar. At the stroke of 3, I heard him stir in the stillness of the night. Small in his slumber, I leaned in closer, observing the gentle rise and fall of the blanket with each breath he took. That unassuming view crystallized everything beautifully. There was no sadness or loneliness within me. Instead, I felt complete, filled with appreciation. Thoughtful. As I reflected on the trials and tribulations that life had thrown my way, I couldn't help but acknowledge the weight of those challenges. The long hours I spent at the hospital, the burden of carrying the roles of both mother and father, the weight of expectations that occasionally drove me to the edge of my endurance. Yet, I found myself reflecting on the positive aspects as well. His grin lit up the moment he laid eyes on the game. The serene moments we shared, wandering through the shops, gazing at the treasures displayed in the windows. The gentle hush that envelops the table during breakfast. As I lay there, it dawned on me just how restorative those little moments truly were. They illuminated the path that keeps me moving forward, even on the toughest days. My child, his delight, his might, even the way he shifted in slumber was my beacon in the shadows. I realized in that moment that each challenge and every decision I faced was for the sake of us both, for his future and for me to rediscover the fragments of myself I believed were gone. With the gentle hum of the television weaving through the air, I whispered a solemn vow to cherish these fleeting moments. I sought to glean wisdom from the challenges and transform them into pathways to progress. That day revealed to me that even when life feels burdensome, when aspirations appear distant, there remains space for joy, affection, and the promise of a brighter future. In the quiet of that night, as I struggled to find some peace, my heart brimmed with a gentle hope. May each day, regardless of its challenges, bring forth the promise of fresh starts, surprising triumphs, and the enduring connection shared between a parent and a child. Kept pondering, will he ever embark on his own journey of self-discovery? Perhaps it was the wine, or maybe it was simply the weight of solitude. But I found myself yearning to connect with him more deeply. Hey, I called out softly. Do you want to talk about anything? As I wondered, a thought crossed my mind. If he brushed it off, I could simply shift to a lighter topic, maybe about his favorite games. To my surprise, he nodded, and that's when it struck me. What should we explore together now? That single word, yes, hung in the air, a quiet invitation to share a moment. A shift happened, as if a wall had softened, a bridge built between us. The fears and the distance faded away, replaced by a warm sense of connection. It felt as though I was seeing our bond anew, a fresh chapter in our shared story. wrapped in a comforting sense of togetherness. I stood up, my legs steady with purpose, and walked toward his bed. The room glowed softly from the TV, casting gentle shadows that danced across the walls. I paused at the edge of his bed, my heart warm with affection, the quiet presence of my son grounding me, a steady warmth that drew me closer. I stopped for a moment, my hand resting lightly on the blanket, a silent question lingering in the air. With a gentle smile, I sat beside him, seeing his sleepy eyes blink up at me, a mix of curiosity and trust. Something familiar yet new. His hand rested on the blanket, a quiet reminder of the boy I'd always known. I paused, just looking at him, taking in the moment. It felt like seeing him grow, a blend of the child he was and the person he was becoming. For it was a curious mix of familiarity and growth, a gentle crossing of the moments that define a mother's love. An undeniable bond pulled me closer, a deep desire to understand him, to share in his world. With a soft breath, I reached out, patting his shoulder gently. His warmth was comforting, a quiet connection that sent a wave of gratitude through me. I spoke softly, my voice a whisper. Let's plan something fun tomorrow. I looked at him, my eyes tracing the lines of his face, the familiar features that were both my little boy and a young man finding his way. I leaned closer, the air calm with unspoken trust and quiet hopes. I noticed his relaxed smile, the small signs of his ease, the gentle shift from sleep to wakefulness. It was tender and strong. The balance was grounding. I felt my heart steady, my love for him anchoring me as I saw his quiet contentment. A small nod, a sign of his trust, warmed me. Would you like to? I asked, my voice soft with care. He nodded, his eyes meeting mine, a silent agreement shining in them. I leaned forward, resting my hand on his, the touch sparking a wave of warmth within me. I squeezed his hand gently, the moment filling me with joy as we shared a quiet laugh. I felt his fingers curl around mine, a gentle grip pulling us closer. With a warm voice, I leaned in and said that if he wanted, we could plan a new adventure tomorrow. He smiled, and a fresh wave of connection flowed through me. I encouraged him to share his ideas, and he lit up with excitement. I returned his enthusiasm. The feelings swelled within, a blend of joy and pride, of love and hope. It felt like we were caught in a moment, carried by bonds stronger than any challenge. I felt him relax, his smile widening as he shared his thoughts about our next outing. His excitement was a bright spark, a burst of energy that filled my senses, a moment that danced between the familiar comfort of our bond and the thrill of new possibilities. In the quiet that followed, a deep calm settled over us, as if time had paused to hold the warmth of what we'd shared. In that peaceful space, we sat together, our breath steady in the stillness. The air was light with unspoken love, lifted by the joy of our connection. This is our bond, I thought, my voice barely a whisper. I knew it was true, a quiet promise to cherish these moments. Yet, the words felt full, carrying the weight of our shared journey. We sat and talked, trying to plan our next day, but words felt small compared to the feeling. The emotions swelled within us, warm and intertwined, and then, as if lifted by a quiet strength of love and trust, a deeper bond emerged that would forever tie us together. In that moment, we sat in a silence that spoke volumes, the air rich with the warmth of our connection and the promise of tomorrow hanging gently around us. Deep within, I knew that what we shared was right, in every sense of the word, loving, nurturing, and true. Yet, that flicker of doubt, that brief worrying of drifting apart, was just a passing shadow. It would rise up, tugging at me, only to fade, leaving behind a warm sense of hope. I kept telling myself we'd always find our way back to this. I tried to reason within myself, seeking ways to strengthen our bond through shared moments. And the truth was, our connection was clear, stronger than ever. As I reflected, a deeper realization settled in. He wanted to nurture this bond. It was like a quiet truth, a steady heartbeat beneath the everyday rhythm of our lives. The worries and doubts lingered in the background, but they were outshone by a warm, almost radiant sense of love and trust. A spark of certainty ran through me, whispering that this was just the beginning. And so, it was the start of something wonderful. Once upon a time, a new chapter began, filled with shared moments, laughter and light, where our hearts connected and our bond grew stronger. My mind wandered to new possibilities, to shared adventures, to fresh ways to build our connection. As I thought about the future, my heart began to weave dreams of what lay ahead. I imagined new outings to share, new games to play, and bold ways to embrace every moment together. And that's when the joyful ideas started to form. Ideas that warmed my heart. Ideas that filled me with excitement. Ideas that made me rethink what it meant to be his mother. As I reflected, a thought took shape. What if we plan another trip together? Somewhere new? What if we explore even further? What if we set out on an adventure? Let me ask you something to think about. What would you do if you found yourself caught in a moment of pure connection with someone you love? What steps would you take? Would you hold back? Would you let the moment pass? Or would you dive into the adventure? Let go to grow closer? Or would you embrace the journey? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Remember to show some love. Join us and subscribe to uncover family stories and heartfelt moments, where you'll find more inspiring tales and genuine connections waiting for you.